I cannot continue my re-election campaign. The constant media speculation about my future and the campaign finance board's decision to withhold millions of dollars have undermined my ability to raise the funds needed for a serious campaign.
There you have it. Eric Adams is out. The New York City mayor announcing in a video statement Sunday he's dropping his re-election bid. This decision comes after the city's campaign finance board denied him public funds, and polls show him trailing behind in fourth place. This now sets up a three-way race between Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani, independent former Governor Andrew Cuomo, and Republican Curtis Sliwa. NewsNation's Marcus Espinoza joins us now live from Manhattan. And Marcus, this is quite a shakeup here. What was the final straw for Adams? Why now? And look, why should everybody at home be paying attention to this, even if they don't live there in Manhattan?
Hey, Anna, yeah, good morning. Really, the final straw here was money. It all came down to money for Mayor Adams. He simply ran out of it. He could not get his campaign finance board to match funds, which was millions of dollars to keep that campaign going. But there was a lot more to that than just money. That really was just the final straw to really force him out of this race. It was a crowded field and a clear front runner right now. This could shape the future of the Democratic Party across the nation, not just here in New York, as you mentioned, but I'll get to that in a second. If we take a look at video of when he announced this, when the mayor was coming out, he brought out a picture of his mother there as well as he was going down the steps of Gracie Mansion, carrying a large portrait of her, and then also Frank Sinatra's My Way playing in the background. But the emotive staging really could outmask the reality of the mayor's situation. He was under severe political pressure and polling in the single digits, trailing a Democratic Socialist and Independent and even a Republican here in New York City. And on top of that, he's still got the baggage of a dismissed federal indictment, which continues to hang over that legacy of his.
And I'm proud to say that we took that victory 4 years ago and turned it into action, making this city better for those who have been failed by government. I felt immense pride serving you every day, and look at what we accomplished together.
Now, whether or not you think those accomplishments were good for the city of New York or not, if you happen to live here, that is certainly up to debate, but it's not up to debate whether or not he's going to run. He has dropped out here. He simply could not sustain this race with a clear front runner.
All right, Marcus, now that Adams is out, share with our viewers who's going to be benefiting the most from his departure. How much is President Trump weighing in on it?
Yeah, so really the winner so far as the mayor dropping out is the independent Andrew Cuomo here. He is expected to try to be able to get a majority of those votes that would have gone to the mayor. So he's expected to get that center-left vote and perhaps have enough to be able to overtake the clear leader here. But there's a few things going on. The front runner remains Zohran Mamdani, the Democratic Socialist who's been surging. He's currently at 43% in the latest Emerson College poll. Pix 11, the Hill poll. Republican Curtis Sliwa is still in the mix too. And here's the political reality. Adams refused to endorse anyone. So those supporters of his are up for grabs. These next few weeks here are extremely critical. The president and the front runner in this race have been going back and forth with each other here. So certainly this could shape the future of the Democratic Party if that self-proclaimed Democratic Socialist does in fact stay in front and get that mayoral race.
All right, Marcus Espinoza, thanks for the update.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.